my ingredients. I'm measuring a cup of whole wheat flour into my mixing bowl. And to that, I add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. These crackers have a hint of sweetness, but not a whole lot. I'll add a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, and now it's time to work in some flavor with a little bit of orange zest. Once you get the basic ratio down for this recipe, you really can customize the flavors. And for my spices, I play more on the savory than the sweet side of things. So instead of cinnamon and nutmeg, I add a teaspoon of cardamom and a teaspoon of black pepper. Black pepper is great to cut the richness of cheese. Now, a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. The base for this cracker, the loaf, actually rises up a whole lot, so you need the combination of baking powder and baking soda. I'll add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and just give this a stir with a spatula. This recipe may look like it has a long list of ingredients, but really the method is quite simple. You mix your dry ingredients together, you mix your wet ingredients together, you mix the two together. That's about it. So for the wet ingredients, I have 2 cups of buttermilk. It's the acidity within buttermilk that reacts with the baking powder and baking soda, giving the loaf cake its lift. For a little added sweetness, I add a 1/4 cup of maple syrup and 2 tablespoons of molasses. Now, if you were making another quick bread recipe, like a banana bread, you would see oil or butter and even eggs. But those ingredients are lacking here. Just the buttermilk with the baking powder and baking soda and all those great flavors worked in is all you need. And immediately you can see that buttermilk going to work, creating these beautiful bubbles. There we go. Now that this is nice and smooth, I can add all the goodies. And this is where you can customize your crackers. I love the taste and the color of pumpkin seeds, so I'm adding a full cup of roasted pumpkin seeds. I'll add 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, 1/2 cup of dried cranberries, and 1 cup of chopped dates. That's a lot of stuff in those crackers. 3 cups in total. So long as you use about 3 cups of a mix of whatever you prefer, you've just built your own cracker. All right, how easy was that? Now I'm ready for my pan. I've greased a tureen pan so that I have a long loaf, easy to slice into single crackers. So I know this doesn't look like a cracker yet, but we're getting there. I've preheated my oven to 350, and this goes in for about 50 minutes. When you insert a skewer in the center, when it comes out clean, it's done. Oh, this smells great. You really pick up on the orange and the cardamom and the black pepper. Now I'm done. What I like to do is let the loaf cool in the tin for about 30 minutes, then I turn it out to cool it completely. Now here's a great tip. When you're ready to actually bake off your crackers, the second bake, chill down your loaf. It makes it easier to get super thin slices. It also means you can make this ahead, even freeze it. I use a serrated knife, and instead of making big, thick slices, like I'm slicing banana bread, I try and go as thinly as possible. Cracker thin, in fact. Once you've got your crackers sliced, arrange them on a parchment-lined baking tray. They can be fairly close together. You just need a little space so the air can get around them to fully crisp them up. Trays, 4 dozen in total, that are ready for their second bake. I've turned down the oven to 300, and these bake for about 40 minutes. I let them go for 20, then halfway through, I flip them over for another 20. That way, they crisp up evenly on both sides. And here they are out of the oven and cooled. Arrange a few on my cheese plate. And that combination of the dates, the cranberries, the pumpkin seed, and the pecans, along with the orange and the cardamom and black pepper, oh, it's a nice piece of brie. You really have something special. So now that you've mastered a really good cracker to go with cheese, how about a cracker that's on the sweeter side of things? A real classic, honey graham crackers.